a disappointing day, obviously. I just told our team, we had opportunities. We didn't cash in on them. From an offensive standpoint, we had 3 opportunities to score that were field goals. And look, our guys know we were playing a team that was going to make it very difficult for us to possess the football. We had 3 possessions in the first half, so it's like playing triple option, and we did not play well enough on either side of the ball to be the better team today. And Vanderbilt was the better team today because they executed at a higher level. So when you look at it in its totality, defensively not enough stops, and offensively, when we had an opportunity to score touchdowns, we had to kick field goals, and that was the difference in the game.
Coach, with Vanderbilt's offense, how are they able to sort of manipulate you guys defensively throughout the day?
Well, I go back to what I said. It's when you play an offense like this, it's the details and being in the right place and having eye discipline, making the plays when they come your way is paramount to slowing them down. And we just didn't do a good enough job on the details when it came to trying to defend this offense.
Chuck?
Coach, you had 2 possessions late in the game with a chance to drive and tie it, and I think you went 3 plays and out each time. What did you see there? And what
we had the big penalty, obviously. We had the completion for a first down, got a holding penalty on that one. And so, again, the offense had mustered, some things offensively that we have been lacking. But when our defense made a couple of stops, we couldn't turn those into positive possessions. And obviously those 2 in particular, but more importantly, it was cashing in on 1st and goal from the 1. I mean, you got to score a touchdown there. I mean, that to me is, we jump offside and it is what it is, right? I mean, we could pick a couple of plays, Jacques. The bottom line is we didn't score touchdowns when we kicked field goals, and we didn't play well enough defensively to give us enough possessions to win the game.
Jack?
What went into the decision to punt on 4th and 8 there at the end of the game?
Well, we got the ball back, right?
No.
4th and 8.
Yeah, before then.
Oh yeah, we used our timeouts. We had 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. So in that situation, you're trying to get one more shot at it, and we certainly felt like that was the right decision at that time.
Jared?
Coach, going back to that goal line sequence, how frustrating was it? You get to the 1-yard line and a scuffle, then a avoided delay of game, and then the false start. How do you manage all of that?
Was there a false start and a delay game?
You called the timeout to avoid the delay game.
Yeah, so the timeout I didn't have a particular problem with. It was making sure we had the right personnel in for the call, which we did. And consequently, had the touchdown call back after the procedure penalty. We got to punch it in on 1st and goal from the 1. I mean, we'll look at that on film. But again, I think overall that's the frustrating part of where we are offensively is not scoring touchdowns but kicking field goals.
Gordon?
Brian, you guys first drive today did get points. It's the first time it's happened this season, but you still had to settle for 3. But did you feel like when you guys were able to put points on the board that maybe something you found something that you could sustain throughout the afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, I thought when we rallied there in the 3rd quarter with the touchdown and 2-point play, got it to 3. Obviously then, they drive the length of the field and it's a bit deflating at that, but we come right back, and we just can't punch it in and we kick a field goal there. We needed to match scores for scores, and then we needed a couple of stops. And look, we can go back and forth. This game was about details. Their details were better. And we had a plan for Vanderbilt's offense and we didn't execute it to the highest level. And then from an offensive standpoint, there were some good things there, but again, I think the thing that stands out is not scoring touchdowns when you have an opportunity.
Coach, with Pavia's ability to scramble, what made him so tough to corral today, especially if there's a lot of man coverage in the back?
Look, I mean, Koki, it's a good question. You know, we feel like we game planned and knew what his abilities are in terms of his ability to scramble. We had people that were assigned for that, and we just didn't execute at the highest level that we needed to against a really good quarterback.
Brad?
Brian, obviously you have to look at it and say you still can win all your games, you feel like you can, but everybody knows what a tough road you have in front of you. How do you keep this loss from multiplying?
It's a competitive group. You know, they have a lot of pride. They're going to play hard. We just have to play smarter and cleaner. You know, I'm not worried about the guys not wanting to play at their very best. They're going to play at their very best. They're still in it. You know, they got Texas A&M at home. Then they get a week off, and then it's a 4-game race to the SEC championship. And so, yeah, it's a disappointing loss. There's no doubt. It's going to sting, but they've got to bounce back right to reality and know that they've got to play mistake-free against an outstanding A&M team.
Anybody else? Jock?
Did it feel like it was a fast-moving game because they possessed the ball, possessions were limited in the game?
Yeah,
with
again, I would go back to the days that I used to have to defend Navy, Air Force, and Army. Those games, by the time you look up, you've had 3 possessions. They had 3 possessions in the first half,
Yeah.
and so each play is magnified. Each play in itself is an important part of the game, and so we stressed it all week. We talked about it, but yet it didn't come to fruition when we needed it to.
Got time for a couple more. Corey?
Is there any update on Tyree?
It was an ankle. Yep, I knew it was an ankle. That's all they told me.
Koki, last one.
Without Bernard and Witt, how much did that sort of affect things from a game planning standpoint defensively?
Look, I mean, everybody's going to have injuries in this league. Everybody's going to have top guys out. Our next man needs to step up and get the job done. We're not going to fall back on, you know, we didn't have a left tackle, we didn't have this guy, we didn't have that guy. We had good enough players in there to win the game, and we just didn't execute at the highest level necessary against a team that played really well today. That other than their 4th down turnover on downs, they played flawless. And when you play a team like that, that's going to take care of the football, is going to eat clock and limit your possessions, you equally have to play to that level. And we just did not. They were the better team today.
Thank you, Coach.